What would you do if you found out one of the reasons that your child who was born hearing was now deaf? What would you do if you found out that the reason they became deaf is because they contracted the measles? What would you do if you learned that if your child had received the vaccination for measles, they probably wouldn't have contracted the measles and therefore became deaf? I have learned that vaccinating your child will help to fight against illness, that there is no connection between vaccinations and autism, and that the vaccination schedule can be flexible. I have 2 cousins with autism and have studied and researched children with autism in another communications class. Vaccinations were not the cause for autism in either one of these cases. Knowing if vaccinations are right for your children can be overwhelming. This is why I am going to tell you the benefits of vaccinating your children. There are 3 major reasons for vaccination. They are to help fight against illness. There is no connection between vaccinations and autism, and the vaccination schedule can be flexible. Let's start with how vaccinations help to fight against illness. The study conducted by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention looked at hospital and death records going back to 1900 and estimated death rates before various vaccinations were invented. In 9 of the diseases, rates of hospitalization or death had declined more than 90%. This is because vaccinations were in place and were required by law. Vaccinations not only help to protect your children from illness, but they can help prevent death. Children are going to get sick. It's a natural part of their development process as their body's immune system becomes strong. As more patients are choosing not to vaccinate their children, there are more outbreaks of measles. In the first 4 months of 2008, there were 64 confirmed cases of measles in the United States. All of these cases were due to children not receiving the measles vaccination. Measles can also cause deafness. Not vaccinating your child puts them at risk. Dr. Amy Tuller had this to say about vaccination. Vaccine rejection is dangerous. It harms the children who are not vaccinated, and it harms unrelated children who are too young to get vaccinated. Vaccinations are necessary in the prevention of childhood diseases. The vaccinations help fight against illness and death in children. Now that we know a little more about the reasons for vaccination, let's talk about vaccination and autism. There is no scientific connection between vaccination and autism. Are they even related? The Institute of Medicine cites no evidence of autism in vaccinations. Doctors are not 100% sure that there is a correlation between the two. Genetics could also be a cause for autism, and sometimes that is not easy to hear for parents. Autism could be caused by the food that we eat. Many of the children in the United States today do not eat healthy foods. Most foods are high in sugar and preservatives. Parents who are worried about vaccinations causing autism need to take a close look at the foods their children are eating. Are they eating fruits and vegetables, or are they eating fatty, sugary foods at every meal? The last thing is vaccination schedules can be flexible. Some schedules can be done on a monthly, bi-monthly, or even a quarterly basis. There are many benefits for putting your children on a monthly vaccination schedule. Using a monthly vaccination schedule gives the parent the chance to control which vaccine their child gets at what time. This will also help the doctors and parents to see if the child has a reaction to a certain vaccine. Another schedule option is the bi-monthly option. Giving your child vaccines on a bi-monthly basis is another option that doctors are willing to provide to their parents. Bi-monthly vaccines give the flexibility to the parent of when their child gets a vaccine, but also helps to keep the child on track of getting the vaccines in a timely manner. The last option is a quarterly vaccination. This gives children who receive this vaccine on a quarterly basis allow the freedom of not feeling like the parent or the child is spending all of their time at the doctor's office. This option just might be the win-win for both the parents and the doctors. It helps the parents to feel that they have time to research the different vaccines. It also provides doctors with the opportunity to see their patients. I hope I have been able to persuade you into thinking differently about vaccines. We know that there are 3 areas of interest when you are thinking about vaccinations for your children. Vaccinations have been around for over a century. They have helped to prevent childhood diseases and even death. Vaccinations are a good thing and are given to help keep our children alive. I know that many parents feel that vaccinations cause autism. I challenge you to think differently. Do you want to be one of those parents that finds out the hard way and lose your child to death?